Fantastic. Welcome to the September 20th, 2023 Planning and Development Standing Committee meeting. I'm Jason Groen, Chair of the committee. On my left here is Val Gilman, Co-Chair, Co-voting Vice Chair of the committee, and Councilor O'Neill, Tracy O'Neill, down here, member. We have Sherry White, who is our clerk of committees, keeps us in order. We have a whole room full of lovely people here. So we're going to get right onto the agenda right now. I'm going to introduce everybody. We've got one issue that is being continued. It's a communication from Seaside Legal Solutions on behalf of PLM Properties LLC, owner of 24 Conway Road, regarding a request for referral to planning board pursuant to Gloucester zoning ordinance section 1.11.3 for an informal review of a proposed amendment at a transfer station used to the Gloucester zoning ordinances. We're going to continue that until October 4th. At which point we'll probably continue it until the next time after that. The first issue we have to deal with tonight is a memorandum from civil engineer requesting a grant of a cathodic protection easement on Forest Lane. And with that, I'm going to turn it right over to Drew. Drew, your last name is
White.
Drew White. Drew White's going to inform us of what this is and why we need to do it.
So the city currently has an easement in place with Tennessee Gas, the owner of the pipeline that runs across Forest Lane out by the reservoir up there, up by Haskell's. So it crosses currently. Cathodic protection is underground cable and anodes that essentially limit corrosion on the pipe, much like when you put zincs on a boat on the engine to keep it from corroding. That's what this does for a pipeline underground. They just have to run it up Forest Lane towards the reservoir and the pump house, underground off the side of the road. To make sure the longevity of the pipe and make sure there's no failures or anything like that. They were up there this summer doing repair work on the pipeline, which was within their current easement, making sure everything was good to go. And they were up there this week doing wetlands surveys, environmental surveys, all that to ensure everything is ready to go and nothing is done improperly. So the engineering department backs it, and it's should go right up from pipeline right around towards the pump house before you reach the dam. Should stop in that vicinity. Yep, so.
Okay. Have any questions? Tracy?
Yep, this is a gas pipeline,
There's an existing pipeline up there.
an existing gas pipeline.
Existing, correct.
Up
This is,
near the reservoir.
it's south of it. It crosses the road. It runs from,
How far south?
it's, I'd say at least 400 or 500 yards. It's been there for ages.
Okay.
And this is just to protect it from corrosion, just copper wire and anodes and whatnot to make sure it lasts as long as they want it to. It's downstream of the reservoir, I should add. So
How would we know if the pipeline was corroding?
I mean, they'd have to dig it up. They'd have issues.
Okay.
That's all.
There's no way of,
It's all questions for the gas company. I'm sure if they had a leak, they'd know. Yeah, it's natural gas pipeline. So
okay. All right, thank you.
Any questions, huh?
No, my only question is Suzanne had given us like a statement today,
Mhm,
so is that consistent with everything here?
It is, but I'm
Okay.
happy to read the gist of that. Just want to make sure that when they go in to put this in, they're going to dig up, they're going to trench the Forest Lane, or they're going to trench on the side.
trench to the side of Forest Lane and restore everything back to how it
Okay,
was.
so it's all straightforward trenching rules and
Yes.
regulations and all that stuff.
And it's all dirt road and whatnot up there, so
Right.
no paving, nothing like that to restore it.
So let me pull up what Suzanne sent today.
Suzanne's our general counsel
Yes.
today.
Right. And if I was prepared, I would have that, so we got it right away.
I have it here if you want it.
You have a like written copy of it? Oh, okay.
If that's the one at 132.
Thanks. Let's see, spoke with Drew White about the easement, 1952, the city granted Tennessee Gas an easement, gas line across city property attached right-of-way agreement, and the agreement includes the right to install a cathodic protection unit, which is essentially an underground wire that grounds the gas line. The unit was installed pursuant to the right-of-way agreement. The unit underground wire was installed outside the limits of the easement. This easement aligns the underground location with the grant. So it sounds like they've already installed part of it, or no, is that?
They went up there, they did some repair work, they made it sound like they were starting and they haven't gone. They did some small digs outside of the existing easement that were just happenstance as they were working, you know, nothing too far, but this is so they can go the
Do the
full
full thing.
distance with it and fully,
And when will they do this?
whenever the easement is.
Oh, wait, okay.
Yeah, they did the environmental stuff this week to make sure,
They've got all the stuff.
once it's approved, they can send a crew up and get going.
All right. Any other questions?
No, I'm comfortable, I just wanted to make sure that we.
All right, in that case,
I do have a question.
yeah,
You said they did the environmental stuff. Who did the environmental stuff?
I'm not sure who they have doing it, but
Okay. but
I
it-
know
it-
the gas company
Hired
told me they
them.
hired environmental scientists and everyone to make sure everything was in place, so when they do get approved and they pull their permit, it's all
Okay.
ready to go and by the
Alright.
book.
Thank you.
They're very on top of everything they do.
well, with that, I'll make a motion that we would recommend the city council grant a cathodic protection easement to Tennessee Gas Pipeline LLC upon a strip of land 10 feet in width and 850 feet in length, between, being 850 feet south with the exclusive use and occupancy thereof. The intent being the east shoulder of Forest Lane, no closer than 10 feet from the existing center line, as requested and described in easement documents attached to the civil engineers August 8th, 2023 memorandum.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Everybody feels good about their first ever cathodic
Seems like it's
protection easement.
been well researched and it's doing what we need to do, so
All right.
supporting this.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, good to go. Thank you very much, Drew.
Of course,
Thank you.
thank you.
And
Thanks,
then
Drew.
that puts us into the next, I'm just steal this because I think, yes, that's what I wanted. Next item we have is special council permit 2023-007. Eastern Avenue number 210, map 264, lot 23, plus zoning ordinance section 1.8.6. Lapse of special permit, request finding of good cause. A special council permit 2015-002, granted pursuant to GZO section 2.3.46, business uses, and section 2.3.47, animal boarding kennel 24-hour operations, map 264, lot 23, has not lapsed. And with that, I will turn it over to, if you could introduce yourself and.
Sir, my name is Bill Heaney. I'm a lawyer in Beverly. My office is at 86 Dodge Street. With me tonight, I have Ryan Flynn. She is the trustee of the Turner Farm Realty Trust, and they're the owner of the property. To her right is Stan Poole and John Poole. They are here because they have institutional knowledge of these properties and can pretty much answer any questions you may have about them. What brings us here tonight is we're looking for a favorable recommendation to the city council for this property on 210 Eastern Avenue. And I'm happy to give you a little bit of history about it and what we've gone through with the building inspector, Don Belanger, and why we're in front of the city council now with this matter. I don't know how much background you have on it, so if I get into the minutiae, let me know, and I can back down a little bit. So a little bit of history on this property. The current tenant is Boston Pub. They was formerly occupied by Paws at Play. It's on Eastern Avenue, just past the Common Crow store, if you know the area. In 2015, the Turner Farm Realty Trust and the prior owner, Mr. Joubert, were represented by Ralph Pino, who did a very good job with the city of Gloucester. Attorney Pino obtained the necessary variances and then obtained a special permit through the special permit granting authority, section 9 or 48, section 9, which was granted by the city council. What he obtained in 2015 was a special permit to operate not only the day kennels, but the overnight boarding. So the day kennels are as a matter of right, the overnight boarding needed a special permit. In 2015, after a lengthy hearing, from what I understand, and they did review all the criteria that was required in 1.8, the special permit was granted. Paws at Play operated seamlessly without incident in the location. Ryan and the pools did the build out as was expected in 2015. Part of getting a special permit was is that they had to add a structure onto the back of the building that was specifically designed for this use. It doesn't have windows that face the neighbors. It has internal heating and ventilation that keeps the dogs all safe and at the proper temperatures, and it insulates the sound and everything from the neighbors. So it is a particular purpose on the building. They did build it out there. Unfortunately, in March of 2021, Mr. Joubert passed away. When Mr. Joubert passed away, it was also during COVID, the operations ceased. As soon as legally possible, my client, Ryan Flynn, did list the property at MLS and continued to actively list it as a kennel and boarding facility for rent and seeking out a new tenant. Time passed by, they did do some improvements to the property, upgraded the heating and ventilation, I believe,
Correct.
as well as some painting, they kept the sign out front even, the sign never came down. They did finally find a good tenant. They're very careful who they rent to, so they do their due diligence. They want a tenant that's good for the property, good for the city of Gloucester and the neighbors. They believe they found that in Boston Pub. Gregory is the principal of it. He may be watching tonight. So they have what they think is a very good tenant for this property in the area. When Boston Pub went in to get their permits, Mr. Blanger, doing his job as your building inspector, noted that it had been closed for 2 years. So if a special permit is seized for 2 years, that special permit may lapse. Not wanting to argue the lapse issue with Mr. Blanger, take the path of least resistance here. I mean, we do think that the improvements that they were making in the marketing might stand to keep the business operational, but not wanting to make that argument. We did look at your ordinances. And pursuant to section 1.8, it does say, except for good cause found by the special permit granting authority. So in this particular case, the special permit granting authority is the city council. So we are asking the city council to find good cause that this use did not lapse, or it had good cause to lapse. And the good cause that we think is the most obvious is when the principal of the business passes away and it has to go through probate, there is obviously going to be a closure of a building or certain steps need to be taken. That's exactly what happened here, and it was exacerbated by COVID. So it did take more than 2 years to find the right tenant. They do have the right tenant now.
That'd be great.
Yeah, great tenant, and we're hoping that this board will recommend to the city council that they find that the closure for the 28 months that it was closed, if you will, was for good cause and the special permit did not lapse.
All right. Anything else?
That's the bit. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
So it's a simple question. So during the 28 months, the property did continue to be marketed. It was just because it was, you said that the signs were still there, you were still marketing it, but there was just not, it wasn't open because of COVID and various, okay.
Correct, and we did provide in our documents to you the MLS listing sheet, which I believe was June of 2021.
Yes.
So we have provided the supporting docs to this board and the city council.
Okay, thank you. That's my only question.
Full disclosure, I rent from Turner Farm Realty Trust. I have my little gym right next door to the kennel facility. And I thought the kennel was shut down because of COVID, like I was shut down for 3 months. And then a month or so later, the owner passed away.
That is entirely possible.
Right, so
Yeah.
if we're talking 28 months, if we're talking 4 months over, it's really 1 month over because COVID shut him down for 3 months. But nonetheless, like I said, my gym is right next door. I see the building every single day. They have put a new roof on.
Yep.
I watched them put the roof on, watched them put insulation in, I watched HVAC guys go in. They've been constantly working on it throughout this whole time. And they're incredibly conscientious landlords. I call them, a little sign blew down, and I called them. And then I went to lunch, I came back from lunch and the sign was up. You know, I get a squeaky faucet and they come right over. They're incredible. So they're really good, hardworking people. So I will be voting for this, obviously. But it has no
Any
effect on
questions,
me.
Ann?
No, I have no question. No, sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We've continuously worked on that building since it's
Yeah.
been vacant,
Yeah,
right up till we got a tenant. We're so fussy about our tenants. It doesn't serve the city of Gloucester if we put the wrong person in there. And we couldn't find the right person. We went
We
through a
couldn't find the
dozen
right mix
people.
of people.
And
and
each and every time
these
that he had the
people
financing,
really couldn't.
no experience.
Hmm.
If you don't have experience, you can't be looking after people's pets. You have to have the experience.
And
So-
then you'd have people who had great dog experience, but absolutely no financial capability.
And they don't even know how to run a business, but they know how to look after
Yeah.
a dog. Well, that doesn't help the city either, because you know they've failed.
You know, so you wanted to be able to say, can this one hire this person to be the manager, but they all had the dream of running their own business.
So
All right. Anybody have one question?
Have the butters been notified?
Yes, we received the affidavit that the butters were notified.
Thank you.
This has to go to public hearing, doesn't it? Or we can find, we
It
can
has to go to
find.
public hearing
Yes, to go to public
per the
hearing.
ordinance.
We would advertise it for, what, 2 weeks from,
Well, it can be on either October tenth or October twenty-fourth. The problem with October, not the problem. October tenth is very full right now, so it's up to discretion of the. It's
I
very
think
small.
this would be pretty quick.
let's go, let's go.
Yeah,
with
so
October.
we can get it
I would-
advertised for the
I
10th.
would approve it.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go. for
All right.
that. I did ask Suzanne to explain this a little bit, because we haven't dealt with it last permit before.
Right.
And the language of says except for good cause, I think you already read this, did you not?
yes.
Okay, so read the language, and also she basically articulated that death of an owner, or COVID, et cetera, these are all valid reasons why we would extend a permit beyond its normal 2-year lapse. And you have the whole lineup of problems there to have dealt with, so I don't think we're in the business of putting businesses out of business, right? So without any further ado, I'll make a motion that we move to recommend that city council finds pursuant to section 1.8.6. The good cause does exist, that city, special permit special council permit 2015-002, granted pursuant to section 2.3.4, subpart 6, animal daycare and animal grooming, daytime only, and 7, animal boarding kennel, 24-hour operations for Eastern Avenue 210, map 264, lot 23, has not lapsed, and I so move.
Second.
And moved and seconded, just on the motion, clearly there's good cause demonstrated for the lapse, and that, as I said, we're not in the business of putting businesses out of business unnecessarily. Gotta
Well said.
thank you. If there's a good reason, I'll go for it. But you're okay, you've expressed yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
All right, and you're fine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. See, that's how we get things done quickly, around here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right,
I appreciate your time.
we have nothing else on the agenda that I know of.
Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much,
Thank
everybody,
you.
for coming.
Thank you.
thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming out and